Estamos bien así.
We're all,
Que el bus,
all right like this.
El bus nos traiga y nos lleva de regreso.
The bus takes us and brings us back.
Porque nuestra familia trabaja
because
y no
our
tienen
family
tiempo.
work and they don't have time to, do it.
My main role here at CEI is to help build and develop a team of drivers and dispatchers that can help support the mission of the organization. And that mission includes ensuring that our participants get where they need to go on time and safely.
Can you tell me about your trip to the center today? Who picked you up?
Harun.
How does he pick you up?
Carefully.
I love that. How do you feel about Arun and how he gets you to our center?
I feel bountiful.
So transportation obviously is vital for getting our participants in here, for their clinic appointments, for their days to socialize and enjoy other participants and activities. So it's really important that they're getting here in a timely manner and getting to spend the shift that they've been established here, of course. And we also want to make sure that they're safe, that they're maintaining dignity, that they're getting into a vehicle that they can trust.
最好的表现就是准时到。他这个到了以后，把老人们扶上这个车去，就是挂好安全带，把那个 walker 那个车子啊，也把它固定好。它也有缺点，交通不足的地方就是看完病以后啊，这个把老人接回家里去，这个时间有时候太长了一点，有时候会超过一个小时，甚至2个小时。
I drive people from the center from home to the center, and I drive people to their doctor's appointments and pick them up from doctor's appointment and drive them to their house. The best part of my job is getting people to their appointments safely. Make sure I see when their family members see me, saying thank you to me, that I got them there safe and back from their appointments.
If we didn't have the transportation, my mom wouldn't get the care she needed. And if there weren't the various types of transportation available, I think she also wouldn't get the care she needed. And then thirdly, I think it's very delicate for a person in a situation such as hers that has to rely on other individuals to push a wheelchair around and roll her in and out, to trust the people that are providing the services she's getting, because it's a scary thing to not have control over your own mobility.
All of our team is focused daily on taking care of the needs of our participants, because many of them really remind the drivers and the dispatchers of their grandparents, of their parents, of their aunts and uncles. And we know how important it is for them to go where they need to go.
Basically, this operation doesn't work without the transportation department. Transportation, we deal with it on a daily basis, whether it's resolving an issue with the ride or someone just asking where their ride is and how much longer it is till they get there. Transportation is an integral part of our operation, essentially.
This particular day, probably maybe was 3 o'clock, close to 3 o'clock. I was taking him home, and I always left his back door open because he forgets his keys a lot. So I happened to get him off the bus, and we was heading towards the door. And when I opened up the door, I always open the door for him, I smelled something smell weird, like, oh no. I said, it smelled like gas. So I'm like, no, you can't go in there. I said, I'm gonna put you back on the bus, put the seatbelt on, tell him you have to stay here so I can make sure that it's secure, because you can't go in there. So when I opened up the door, it was, I had my mask on, so it helped a little. And when I entered, I went in the kitchen and it was 2 hives on with no fire.
Because we have to provide door-to-door service. And you know, many of them are a little bit fragile, so we're their right hand. So I make sure that they're actually being dropped off safely without a problem.
So a little bit about our transportation specialists or our drivers is that they also genuinely care, that they also came into this role and learned more about our participants and really understand their personalities, their wants, their needs, and even things that they don't really like. And so I think that enables them to kind of get closer and, like I said, meet people where they're at and kind of understand their role in assisting them. Like, these people go above and beyond. They're bringing them from the center to their doors a lot of the times. They're assisting them if they're not physically as mobile. So they really have to be vested, and I've never met a driver who's not.
So just imagine if that had to be on from the time I picked him up, and he has 4 hours at the day center. So the gas was on that whole time, you know, and if I would have just left, he wouldn't have knew the gas was on. And God knows, you know, if he fell asleep, he probably wouldn't have woke back up.
Every dollar that's donated will allow our seniors to live a more fulfilling life.